Yo, what's going on, guys? We are back for another Chainsaw Man chapter review, and this time we have a banger, 18 pages worth of girth, man. This one is big. So let's just get right into it. We start off with Denji and Asa falling into this devil's mouth from the last chapter, and they're about to get eaten in the chainsaw bike, but they're sort of resisting. They're sort of like on its teeth, like teetering in. But the falling devil, she's not having any of this, and she's like, go in. And she basically just pushes them into its stomach. The devil takes a gulp, and he's like, okay. He's tasting the food, and he sort of gets this weird feeling. Like this devil, he's starting to, something's brewing in his stomach. Then, right after, he just pukes everything up. Like this is what, like the third barf scene we've seen from Fujimoto. Like he just pukes everything up, Denji and Asa, and then a bunch of other stuff. And the falling devil, she's sort of just shocked. She's like, huh? Like, you're gonna throw up my food? And we get to see later, she even talks about, she's like, you're gonna throw up the food that I made with love. Like, literally. But this devil, the centipede dude, he's still throwing up. Like, this man is really, like, going through it. He tasted something really despicable from Denji and Asa. But the falling devil, she says, she's like, yo, you can't just throw up my food, so you're gonna have to die. And we get to see what looks like the full power of the falling devil, and she like launches this huge hole of gravity, I'm guessing, into this weird centipede devil, like into his stomach, and he just gets eviscerated. And again, Fujimoto with the guts and gore, like we get to see his like intestines coming out of his mouth as he's getting squished, and at the end he's just a pile of viscera and guts around a circle. It's crazy. I love how Fujimoto just depicts gore because it's so over the top and ridiculous. But after the fight, and after, you know, the dust settles, Asa and Denji are still on the ground, probably sort of passed out, because they don't hear this conversation that's coming next. Well, we don't think that they hear it. But the falling devil says, I sincerely apologize I couldn't feed Asa to the diner. And the person who she's talking to is revealed to be nobody other than Fami. So, I mean, we were already suspecting that she had some suspicious, you know, stuff going on. And yes, she sent the falling devil to feed Asa to this devil. And for a reason that we get later, like she says exactly why she wanted to feed her to him. Right then, Fami says, okay, return. And the falling devil sort of erupts into flames, and it seems that her body like shrinks down into like this little like handheld statue sort of thing. It looks really weird, but like Fami can just hold it in her hands, and the human head that she was using to like talk with, that just rolls on the ground, and like that's just, I guess, not a part of her devil form, so that's just back to being a human head. So this probably has something to do with Fami's power that gets explained later. But she says, so how did you make that devil puke them up? So Fami arrived on the scene, and now somebody else just arrived on the scene. And she says, you know, how'd you make them throw them up? Control. So it's revealed NAYUTA's here. She's just sitting there next to Denji, and she's like, well, I mean, I just controlled that devil's brain to make him think that humans taste like actual crap. And like that's where we get the title of the chapter, tastes like crap. And yeah, she just used one of her chains that I'm pretty sure, I mean, we've seen it depicted a few times now, that these chains are her control powers. You know, the sort of idea that, you know, chains are used to bind people and all this stuff, you know, slavery, chains are a big thing about that stuff. So we get to see that her control powers are through these chains. And, you know, at the end of Chainsaw Man, we saw her with those chains attached to all those devils and stuff. So, you know, we've seen it. It's already in here. Also, if you guys like Chainsaw Man, want new chapter reviews every week and more Chainsaw Man videos, please just subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll be making more manga reviews and anime videos soon. So stay in tuned and back to the video. But Nayuta's asking, like, why are you after Denji and Asa? Like, why? And Fami's like, well, this prophecy, Nostradamus' prophecy, is about to come true. And this is something that, like we talked about the start of part 2, not really, but like when Fami and Yoshida were talking to each other, this was like the big thing that they were talking about, and sort of like what Chainsaw Man Part 2 is sort of gonna accumulate into is this prophecy of Nostradamus and the human world ending. Because she says that the human world will soon end and the world of devils will start like becoming a thing. And I just love NAYUTA here. She's like, oh, that sounds awesome. Like, let's do it. But Fami's like, you know, that's not something that I really want to do. And NAYUTA's like, why? Like, you're a devil too. You should like want the age of devils to be a thing. Fami continues to explain. She says, well, things like pizza and Chinese food would cease to exist. And oh my gosh, bro. Like, of course, Fujimoto coming back again, subverting more expectations. She's not here to like save humanity. She doesn't care about humans at all. She just likes the stuff that we make. Like, she likes the pizza, she likes the Chinese food. It's just a funny, shallow reason for her to like want to save humanity. And like, you know, the byproduct of her wanting the food to stay is also humanity continue living. So yeah, she's just like, you know, pizza will no longer exist, Chinese food will no longer exist. And NAYUTA's like, that's outrageous. Like, that cannot happen. And Fami's like, yeah, I know. That would be quite a terrible scenario. But she's like, at this rate, like, you, me, the Chainsaw Man, none of us will be able to stop this. But war might be able to. And this is like interesting wording we get from her, where she says, war can be made to win. And for me, this sort of implies that we can get a power up. Austin can get a power up somehow, and some way the War Devil can get even stronger than she already is. Which, I mean, it's seen that the War Devil's sort of weak. I mean, in Asa's body at least, because Asa's, you know, she doesn't want to turn stuff into weapons and all that shit. But it's just cool to think that Fami, she's like, yo, War could win this if we give her the right circumstances or something like that. And I'm guessing that when they say war can be made to win, and that just means that she can make a weapon powerful enough somehow. Like, theoretically, it's possible for her to make a weapon strong enough to defeat whatever's gonna happen, you know? And maybe Fami just doesn't have like an otherworldly ability like that. And I mean, we get to see, I mean, her powers are literally to make people starve and control them, or to have starving people be her pawns. Because NAYUTA, she asked, like, why do you want like Asa's help and stuff when you just tried to kill her? And Fami says, I just wanted to starve her so I could turn her into my pawn. And that is what I'm guessing is the reason she can control the Falling Devil, just because she starved her, or the Falling Devil was starved and she was just able to take control of it. It's interesting that a lot of the powers for the Horsemen are sort of control related, manipulation related. Like NAYUTA, literally control devil. She can control anybody and anything. Fami, she can like control or manipulate things that are starving because she's, you know, a famine. And Asa, or the War Devil, who can change her belongings or things that she owns into weapons. And, you know, she talks to Asa, War Devil, about like befriending Denji, or trying to like play Denji to make him, you know, have feelings for them so that they can create a strong weapon out of him. So there's lots of manipulation going on. I'd like to see what the Death Devil's abilities are. And obviously she gotta be stacked, she gotta be thick, she gotta be voluptuous, everything above the stars. Fami asked NAYUTA, like, yo, let's just link up, let's bring our powers together, let's combine. And NAYUTA, she straight up says no. Like, she's like, no way, bro, no way. Like, I have school, bro. And we end off the chapter with NAYUTA in class. Her teacher's asking, like, anybody who knows the answer, raise your hand. And she's like, me. And I just love NAYUTA. She takes after Denji, like, so much. Like, there's a panel where her, like, face is, like, in disgust, like, when she's talking about, no, not the pizza going away, where it just reminds me so much of Denji's face. Like, I've seen him make that face when he was talking to Asa. It's just so funny because, you know, it's sort of like father and daughter, brother and sister somewhat. But I think that this is a pretty big chapter. We have a break next week, so obviously Fujimoto's coming back with a banger. He is about to bring us some hard-hitting shit. It's either that it's going to be this arc is ended and we're going into the next arc, because, you know, it seems that he sort of tied stuff up with cutting into NAYUTA being at school, but it could be a flashback, which I don't think it is. I think it's just panning into the future and we see NAYUTA at school, and we're just going to be seeing sort of the fallout of what happened with this. And I mean, a lot of stuff got destroyed, so this is probably going to be in the news. I mean, we know devil attacks get news coverage. I mean, Denji was literally public news saving that cat. So yeah, we will probably get to see maybe more of these horsemen like interacting, because I mean, somehow they all know each other, and like even though like they could look human, they can sense each other or something, it seems like. So this was a big boy chapter. We really needed this to push the plot forward. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and peace.